What up, reader fam? Today I'm going to be sharing with you the books that I am planning to read during the fall time. I'm so happy that fall is here. Fall is one of my favorite times of the year. I love how chilly it starts to get outside. I love the leaves changing colors. And I'm not gonna lie, I love me some of those pumpkin spice lattes. Before I get into talking about the books that I am planning to read during the fall time, I'm gonna first briefly share with you guys the Booksplosion fall lineup. So if any of these books sound interesting to you, then definitely pick them up and join us for our Booksplosion live shows. For September, we are reading The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding by Alexander Bracken. For October, we are reading The Short History of the Girl Next Door by Jared Reck. And for November, we are reading Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, Book 3, The Ship of the Dead by Rick Riordan. So those are three books that I am for sure going to be reading because they are the Booksplosion books of the month, so of course I have to read them so that I can discuss with you guys. So outside of the Booksplosion books, here are some of the books that I am hoping to read this fall. The first one is one that I actually do not own, and that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This story is about this magically gifted young man who grows into being the most notorious wizard that his world has ever seen. Now, I don't know why, but recently I've just had this strong urge to read this book. I don't know if it's because I've seen people talk about it, or if it's because I'm just starving for a good old fantasy story, but the desire for me to read this book is real right now. Next up, I really want to read Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. This is the sequel to Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. This book wrought her. I've been meaning to read this book for a while now, and now just feels like the right time to read it. I didn't read the description for this book because I started to, and I felt like it was going to spoil some things that happen in this story, and I really don't want to be spoiled for this book, so I swerved out of that description real fast. But to give you kind of an understanding for the Witchlands world, let me kind of reveal to you some of the witches and their abilities. The series is set in this world that is full of different kinds of witches. We have truth witches who can tell the truth from a lie, thread witches who can read the connections between different people, blood witches who can control other people's blood, wind witches who can control the currents of the air around them. That's just kind of a peek of the different kind of witches that you will see throughout this series. I adored Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, so I have high expectations for Wind Witch. Susan just did a fantastic job of creating this rich world with a really enticing plot, and I'm overly excited to read this book and to see where she takes the story. Next up, I have The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater, which consists of The Raven Boys, The Dream Thieves, Blue Lily, Lily Blue, and The Raven King. This is a series that I'm hoping to get throughout the months of fall. I don't know why, but this series just screams fall to me, and if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I've been meaning to read this series for quite some time now, and I continue to put it off and put it off and put it off, but hopefully I can buckle down and read this series throughout the fall time. I've read the first book before, The Raven Boys, and I loved it, but I've decided that I'm going to give it a reread because I've pretty much forgotten everything that happens in it. To put this series simply, it follows 4 boys and a girl who go on an adventure involving a dead Welsh king. Next on my list, I have The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. This story is about this girl named Hazel who lives with her brother Ben in this place called Fairfold. It's a place where humans and fae exist side by side. The people of Fairfold and the fairies have kind of an understanding on how to exist without bothering each other. The only thing though is that the tourists who come to visit Fairfold are free game for the fairies, and this doesn't fly well with someone living in Fairfold, and they begin to fight back. I grew up reading the Spiderwick Chronicles by Holly Black, but I've yet to read any of her YA books, so it's about time I give one of her YA books a read. And the final book on my fall to be read list is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. All I really know about this book is that this story follows a girl by the name of Karu, and she has blue hair, and she spends her days drawing these creatures, and all her friends find them fascinating and always beg her to tell them more about these fictional creatures that she's drawing. The thing is, they're not fictional at all. The pictures that Karu draws are of her family. That's all I know about this series, to be quite honest. I don't know the direction the story will go in, or what the main conflict will be. I feel like everyone who talks about this trilogy is always super vague about it, and they don't really reveal too much about the story, so I'm kind of going into the story not knowing too much, but that's a-okay. The one thing that I do know about the story is that I've heard that it just goes in a direction that you do not expect it to go in at all. So I'm looking forward to finding out exactly what that means. Those are the books that I'm hoping to read during the fall time. You guys should let me know down below in the comments some of the books that you are planning to read during fall. Or just let me know down below if you have read any of the books that I mentioned in today's video and which one you think I should read first. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos frequently on this channel, so if you want to be notified as to when I post new videos, be sure and go and hit subscribe, or go and click the little bell icon and you'll be notified as to when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, chew.